Hello everyone. We talked about how Git stash work and why do we use Git stash. And during that talk we talk about like if you want to change, if you have some local changes, uncommitted changes in your local and you want to switch from one branch to another branch, or you want to take the latest changes from the remote, or you want to keep your changes aside for some time to work on another commit or another thing. Git stash come handy. It hide the changes into your workspace or your working directory to a stash area so that your working directory become clean and you can do git commit, or sorry, git pull, or you can switch the branches and all. Then we tried through the example like git status. If you see, there are changes in my rebase.txt, rebase2.txt and test.txt, and I want to get the latest changes from the remote. So I do git pull. When I'm doing git pull, it gives me the error. Your local changes to the following file will be overwritten by merge, and it's giving the file name where the conflict is coming. So what's happening is like if I'm doing the git pull, the changes in the rebase.txt git git has not recorded till now in his repository will be lost, because git will not know, right? If we revert back the git pull, or if you want to revert git pull, then any changes in rebase.txt which we have done will it will not have the track of that. That's why it does not allow us to do that. So in that case, what option we have the git stash, or we can commit the changes. So there is a command known as git stash. If we do simply git stash and without providing any comment or anything, it will stash the changes, and what is saying saved working directory and index state whip on master changes to head is now this. So what's if I do now, there is another command git stash list. It gives the list of changes which has been stashed. So currently we did the stash one time, so it's showing stash 0 whip on the master, and then it's giving me hash and then some message, okay, for identifying the changes. WIP is like work in progress on master, so it's telling like changes were going on the master, and then some commit and then commit message. If I do now get status to check the status of my working directory, it's showing me clean. Okay, so my working directory has been clean. So if I do git pull now, I will not have any problem. Now it's giving, previously it was not allowing me to get the changes, okay, from the rebase.txt itself. Now it got the changes, but there is some conflict in rebase.txt, so that's why it's telling automatic merge fail. So let's resolve that. So we will open that txt file, and as I told, like this part is in my local and this part is coming from the remote, so we can keep both. Delete this and delete this, and then save the changes. Once I do that, I can mark it as resolved using git add command rebase.txt, okay, and then I will do only git commit, so it will create a merge commit and will commit my changes. So now let's do git status again, and now you see thing to commit, working directory clean, and again it's telling me origin master by 2 commit. Your branch is ahead of origin master. It means like I have 2 commits in my local which is not present in my origin, which I can push by using git push command. So now like I want to, because now I have got the latest changes in my remote, right? Sorry, latest changes in my local. I want to get my changes which I did in git stash. So how I can up to my working directory. So for that we have various options. One is git stash apply, another one is git stash pop. If I do git stash pop, I got back my changes. So if I do git status, you will see it's showing modified rebase.txt, deleted test.txt, and then both modified. So what happened is, like, there was a changes in my rebase.txt, right? And I got the changes from the remote in rebase.txt, and both were at the same location. That's why during git stash pop also I got the conflict, which I can resolve again using git vi rebase.txt. So this, so whenever you are doing git stash git merge, you might fall into merging conflict scenario, so you have to be very so it's a normal. Okay, so again it is same. So but here if you see, this pointer name has been changed, updated stream and stage changes. So updated upstream means like these are the changes which came from the remote, means currently it is in my file which I am using, and these changes has come from my stash. Okay, so I can delete this, delete. Okay, even I can delete this, I don't want that change. Okay, so if I do git commit now, stash changes. Okay, so if I do git stash list, still showing me stage 0, weapon the master, and then if I let do some other changes, vi git, let's assume I want to do testing stash, learning how to retrieve stash. If I do git status again, if you see I have the modified test.txt. So whatever reason I want to stash this change, again what I have to do, git stash, there is a git stash save, and then I can give my commit. Previously when I did git stash, right, it itself generated the commit message and the hash. Now I am going to provide the message which I want to provide, so I can use git stash save. So git stash save, saving stash in test. Once I do, what it will say, save working directory in index state on master, saving state in the test. And if I do now git stash list again, I will see now there is a 2 stash in my stash area, on master, saving stash in test, and whip on the master. So if you see previously whip on the master, this was stash at 0, but now whip on master has become stash at 1. So always the top one, whatever the latest stash we will do, that will be on top one and it will be marked as stash at 0. Okay, then 1 2 3, as many as stash we have, and then when we do git stash pop, it will apply that changes again to my working directory. And if I do git status, you see modified.txt is there, and if I do git stash list, you see now I have only one stash. Okay, so where my another stash went? So we have to understand here, if we are using git stash pop command, it it will apply that stash to my working directory as well as will remove from the stash area. But in case so that as it will remove from the stash area as well. If we don't want that, we can use git stash apply. So what apply will do, it will apply the top stash to our working directory and will not remove it from the stash area. So when you do get stash list, even after applying, you will be seeing that. Okay. So why we have like stash 0, stash 1, stash 2, 3. If you are, for the example, you are working, you did the stash, okay, after did you did some other work and you again stash, you did not apply the previous changes and you created another stash. So you want to get the changes of previous stash instead of current stash. So in that case, you can retrieve that. So how we can do is we can git stash apply and we can give the pointer or reference of that stash which we want to apply. For the example, I want to apply get stash at 0, so I can use that. So it will apply this particular stash. If I do git stash 1, I can still do if I have the if I am having more than 2 stash, right? So this is how git stash help us to keep our uncommitted changes into staging area and make our directory clean so that we can move from one branch to another branch, do the git pull or keep our work aside for some time. Thank you very much.